Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Traders Lab. I'm your host, Tom B. Thanks for stopping by. I stream live Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 1 p. Eastern Standard Time. This stream's about integrating Bookmap order flow tools with auction market theory using a volume profile as a chassis in the intraday developing time frame. It's based on structured trades that are available to everyone at no cost in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community, as well as a lot of additional education, stocks, options, crypto order flow with a high-tier tool like Bookmap, options, algorithmic behavior, market-make behavior, and a lot more. All of this is available at no cost. And if you're interested in visiting Trader Lab or taking advantage of any of the other education, use the link in the bottom of YouTube and feel free to visit. Say hi. Also, please be aware I'm streaming from Costa Rica in a very unstable connection. If for any reason I have challenges, I will have to drop the YouTube stream and I will continue in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab. You can use the link in the bottom of YouTube to access that if you choose. Also, I would like to say that the YouTube stream will be posted later today or early evening if you care to review it, if I happen to drop out. Otherwise, it'll be there for you immediately. General disclosure, all Bookmap Ltd materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice or recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Can I please get a screen and audio check in YouTube and the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community? How are we doing in Discord? I need a response, please. Okay, great. And how are we doing in YouTube? And thanks everybody for your patience. Remember, if I drop out, the stream will continue in Discord Trader Lab. I will have to drop the YouTube connection because of streaming from Costa Rica, and infrastructure is still in its development, you might say. So let's get started. Thanks again for visiting the Trader Lab. By the way, if you're interested, there is a library of webinars and 60 PDFs of these structured trades and a lot more that you can download in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community, plus the community of the Trader Lab, which is a group of like-minded traders who come together to leverage their collective experience to do better. And we're all looking to do better. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. Now, I want to show you a couple of things. This is the consolidation we were in, and this is the called a microcomposite. It's an intermediate time frame structure. What we attempt to do is isolate swing highs and swing lows, and the market tends to rotate inside and create a consolidation. This is trading 101. However, the thing, and I believe, at least for me, the advantage of understanding the distribution of volume, or something called volume profile, is to understand that the market is not just price, it's what takes place at a price. It's the same as shopping, and they could be a ridiculously high price somewhere, and somebody will buy it, but it doesn't mean it's worth it. And the market will then go to the other side to try to find what's too low. And this process creates our rotations. Now, these are our TH candles. If we had nothing here and just a candle, it could be an intraday. This could be 5 minutes. This could be any, quote, time frame you want to make it. It happens to be daily, but all markets operate the same way, and I call that fractals because it's rotational. And as day traders, we are trading rotations. And the thing about it is, if you're a swing trader or a position trader, we're all trading the same thing. It's just time-based. Now, this, and as you guys know, you follow the stream, I've been on the shorts, leaning more to the short side. And in this consolidation, it was because primarily we were squeezing out the shorts, but we were always reverting back to the mean. And this orange line is the mean, or the highest volume. So think of it like retail in your shopping, your supermarket or your store. So if the price gets too high, and you notice how the volume tapers off, we run out of buyers. I'm not paying that, and we come back to retail. So this is Friday. Now, what's interesting about Friday is I was on the short side just about the whole day, and that stream is posted and it is available. And I'll point it out to you a little bit later. If you haven't seen Friday's stream, it's pretty important because we had news come in and change the auction. Now, you need to kind of understand, what is the auction? It's really participant behavior and the interaction of the participants. And what we're doing is we're measuring the interest at different price levels. And the highest volume price is like a retail price. Buyers and sellers agree to do business. But something happened on Friday. POTUS, president of the U.S., came out and said he was rethinking the targeting of the tariffs. And the tariffs are a huge overhang in the market because it can be destructive economically, which is why we've been selling off. However, he said he might rethink it, and the fact that something new comes into the market then has to adjust. So if the market is bearish, if you accept that, you don't have to, in this intermediate time frame, and we're heading lower, and then news comes in, it changes things. So Friday, we went from sellers to buyers, and that's towards the end of the stream, it was longs. And then Monday, we gapped. Now, what makes this significant? Well, this is our consolidation. We broke out of it. Now, what makes it interesting and important for us as traders is that all of the energy in here, these sellers up here, and the longs are in here, these sellers got caught with the proverbial order book down. So we gapped above, and this creates a trend configuration, and that's basically what we had yesterday, a dynamic move, squeezing the you-know-what out of everybody, and longs only. Now, what does that mean for today? Now, I'm going to point out some other levels to you. This orange line is the same as that orange line. What that means is, in this consolidation, this was the highest price, retail price, most volume, but that means highest volume price. If it becomes too low and we leave this area, our next area is here. The last area that we had our buyers down here and our sellers up here. And this rotation created the high volume node here, called a micro composite volume point of control. So yesterday, gap, target. It's all very methodical, though random. Now let's go a little further. There's going to be a little bit more. Let's try to stay together here, because this is all before today even opens. Now, so this is that high volume I was just referring to in this consolidation. This yellow line. Now, I'm going to go down in something you guys think of as time frame. Now, the reason I spend time here, everything fits together. It's like a puzzle inside of itself. And I always refer to this as Russian dolls, Matryoshka dolls. They are inside each other. So when you think of higher time frame, I think of fractals, and they're inside. So when you get down as a day trader into short time frames, if you want, they are inside the bigger time frames. Quite logical, but sometimes we forget. So what is this yellow line, you're asking? I know you're asking, I can hear it. What is that? What it is this is the highest volume yesterday. Think of it, if there's high volume, that means in this whole day yesterday, most of the volume was done at the high of the day, near the high. That is our, quote, retail price in here. In the intermediate time frame, this is our retail price. And this, 24.50, was yesterday's target. So we had 24.50, and we had whatever this price is here, which is around 14 or 15. Can't quite see it. So that's just for openers. Now, let's come to today. RTH open. Now, here's some other statistics. And past performance, not indicative of future results. Let's see what it is. Now, theoretically, yesterday's high is here. and RTH open is here. Now, this is one of those things where you go, well, did we open outside of range? Well, theoretically, yes. Or did we open inside of range? It's one of those things where, flip a coin. I don't get too hung up on these things, but here's some statistics. And for me, it was basically opening higher in range. And for me, the fact that there's a point or something, and considering that the ETH high is above us and we were coming down, I looked at it like we were opening in range. Could have been either one. So I'm going to give you some general statistics. And the reason I don't get hung up on precision, the market is not precise. There's a lot of slop in the market. So there's approximately an 82% probability. We will check. Where is it? Overnight volume point of control. That's down here. That's the highest volume from the ETH. Getting to yesterday's retail price is called the point of control, about a 67% probability. I just showed you that. That was that yellow line from yesterday. Taking out the first hour's high, I lost it. I will find it. 68%-ish probability, which would be here, but we don't know that yet. The ETH high, I got too many statistics, 69% probability. And there's more, but that'll get you started. And all these statistics and other library of webinars, etc., is all available at TraderLab. So now, let's go one more piece and then we'll get started. Now, the reason I spend time, this is what TraderLab traders do. We put together a plan, and then based on our experience and understanding of market mechanics, and of course everything is random, we lay out a plan for the day. And then what we want to do is make kind of an audible, as it's called, an on-field adjustments based on the distribution of the behavior of the other participants. So you start with a plan, and then since the market is dynamic and we're trading in real time, we're going to tweak this plan. But now let's go to the next piece. We had a trend up day yesterday. The market was short. We had a breakout. Everybody got run over. We got to our primary targets yesterday, which was up here, by the way. And there's yesterday's high. So it was there and a little bit higher. Those were our targets for yesterday. We got our targets. So now what? If the market is long and we open, if you are long, let's put ourselves in the other trader's shoes. You are long. What might you do? And the ETH high is above us. And we open here. We open there. And the ETH high is here. But what might you do? Might you take some profits? That's called responsive selling. And in our trade plan, we have that. Doesn't mean it'll do it. You have to understand. It's maybe. The best you have in trading is maybe. We're in a 100% random environment. So maybe it'll do this. Maybe it'll do that. But what do we know about retail trader behavior? Maybe if you were long, maybe if we open under the ETH high and we see selling, we'll take profits. It's called responsive selling. You're responding. Now, if we see responsive selling, then what? Then what? How about this? You can either take a short, join the weak side that is taking a profit, perfectly fine if it's in your plan and you have a statistical edge, or you recognize it because you anticipated it, and then you already have structured trades and you are waiting for the market to come to a location that you have vetted so you can engage and guess what? Get back in alignment with the dominant side. Does that make sense? All of this is before you put your first trade on or even the RTH market opens. Are you guys tracking? By the way, if you have questions, please post them. I hope we're doing okay. As far as the internet goes, I am streaming from Costa Rica. And if I drop out, remember this stream will continue in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. You can access that. There's a link in the bottom of YouTube. No cost. Also, if I do have to drop out, YouTube will stop streaming, and this stream will be posted later in YouTube if you want to review it, or just come to Trader Lab and access all the streams and take advantage of all the support materials in the community. So remember what we're thinking about here. ETH high. Okay. Yesterday's high, by the way, well, I'm sorry, not yesterday's high. Yesterday's high is here. And there's a possibility of what? Well, getting into yesterday's range and possibly going higher. Now, the joy of trading is not knowing. How do you like that? Being a business where you don't know. Very exciting, nerve-wracking, and intimidating for us, because our whole thing is about needing to know and being right, not about accepting that we can't know. So we work very hard on trying to know. I understand. We all want to know. Who wants to take a stop? Never volunteered to take a stop. But in your career, you're going to be taking tons. So, and why do you take a stop? Because you want to protect your account. It's not about being right. It's about being here for the next trade. We take risk in order to get reward. There's no free lunch in life anywhere, is there? And there certainly isn't here. Casinos haven't figured it out. How can they deal the cards and not pay the gamblers? Well, if they can't do it, I kind of figure we can't do it. So let's take a look. RTH open. And by the way, post your questions. Oh, thanks, Dan. Okay. All right. So I will stick with YouTube since Discord's a little weird. It's hard here streaming from Costa Rica, guys. I'll do my best. Remember, if I have to drop out of YouTube, I will be continuing in Discord in the Trader Lab, and you all can use that link in YouTube if you want to come over to Trader Lab. There's no cost. Take advantage of the whole thing. The chat, the library of webinars, and the structured trades that I share here. So this yellow line is called Developing Volume Point of Control. It resets to 0 at RTH open, and off we go. And now we have two-sided trade. Remember what we're anticipating, and that is responsive selling. You don't have to have it, but if you've been in Trader Lab, you also understand it's possible. What else do we know? The ETH volume point of control, or highest volume, or retail price, is below us. With over an 80% probability, we'll take it out. Well, that being the case, we are opening above it. This is what's important. The market is saying, the language of the market, this is the developing retail price, and what's too low, or was too low, and might be too low, and we don't know, is yesterday's volume point of control, 13, settlement, which has high probability, all these, this is a 70% probability, and this level down below, over here, about over an 80% probability. So if you know that and you're in Trader Lab, your choices are sell this, targeting this, or step aside, let the debris settle, and then look to get long to come back here and continue on our merry way. Does that make sense? Okay, Dan, let me know if I need to drop out of YouTube, if it's a problem, okay? I'll leave it up to you to shoot the flare up since I can't tell. All right, so RTH open. This is the developing volume point of control. Now remember, your trade plan and mine might be completely different. Every trader develops their own plan in the Trader Lab. The idea of the Trader Lab is to provide guidance on how to create a plan, how to know where you have a statistical edge that favors you. And also, it has to align with your psychology. Big issue. What aligns, right? So there's some traders who are going to wait for the longs. There's other traders who are going to take shorts, longs, and spin. That's because it fits their psychology and their skill. I find for me, I want the broader stroke. So I get much more patient because if I put risk on, I'm looking for something that has meat on the bone. So, but uh, for me, the idea is to try to primarily take longs. And I trade both sides, but primarily longs in this configuration. Okay. So let's take a look here. Market opens. Now, right here, we open, we check yesterday's high. So what might we, let's think this through. Two things. If you're not long from yesterday, so there's two parts, you might take a long to get in because you missed it yesterday. And if you are long, you might, if we don't continue higher, take profits, right? So always a couple possibilities. But before it happens, you got to know what you're going to do. So for me, I don't buy this. I don't buy it because there's longs and I'm thinking responsive selling, and I know I can pull all the way back down. So let's see what it does. Liquidity comes in the book. Now, I don't call trades, and I'm not saying these are trades. I'm saying these are concepts and things. Okay, thanks, Stan. Guys, I'm checking with Bookmap support as I'm streaming because of problems here from Costa Rica with the internet, and the infrastructure is has a lot to be desired. So this sets up, so RTH open, higher, liquidity comes in the book. This is how Bookmap can help you. Now, the thing to understand about any tool, doesn't matter if it's a high tier tool like Bookmap or not, is that there's randomness in here. But if you have a trade plan that suggests the possibility, I'm getting delays in the data too, then we might look for, anticipate this selling. So that's why we're looking for the selling. Now, it's up to you. When this comes in the book, think of it kind of like a hand or a lid on a pot, a hand pushing down or a lid on a pot. Notice the reaction. So I'm not saying this is a short. I'm saying it's behavior. I don't call trades, and my short might be somebody else's long, right? Nobody has a monopoly on anything. This is the full session VWAP. Now, when I saw this, I said to myself, well, there is a potential long. Now, this is not a structured trade. Overnight mid, though, has a high probability also. I think I neglected to give you that statistic, but let me give you, it's about a 72% probability. So if you're in Trader Lab, you're going to know not what will happen, part of the joy. Full session VWAP was here, I believe. It's currently up there, but right now, at this time, it was down here. This is a buy sweep. So we have a sweep. So right here, I know a couple of things. I have separation. So the retail or highest volume is here. Developing VWAP here, developing mid, and they're separated. That suggests directional movement. However, the context is up. So we come down here. Now, there's nothing here for me other than potential targeting. So when I start looking around for a long, I'm going to be looking to come back here. It's called mean reversion. Let's see what happens. Now, this, you'll notice that the developing volume point of control. And what is this? This is very simple. This is shopping. And right here, this is where the highest volume is. And I call that a variable high volume node. And why is it variable? Because we just shifted and moved away. That means now this is the new retail price. I'm going to label this one. You notice the little node sticking out, high volume. High volume's retail. And if a price gets too high, I'm not paying that, and we leave. I'm out of here. And now the price moves down here. So too high, current retail price. Now there's a couple possibilities here. We can come across the range, come back here, or continue lower. So we're just going to watch, okay? Let's just see what it does. Now this, I saw this and I went, what was that all about? I don't know if that was news or something. I never figured that out, and I didn't even ask about it. I just, well, that's interesting. What was that? So now we tag settlement. which is a high probability target. Notice what we do here. Now, there's nothing going on here, okay, for me. Other traders might be on shorts. 70%-ish probability we get here. Remember, 82% probability we get there. So this is yesterday's retail price, yesterday's volume point of control, high volume, and this is the ETH. So these are the areas for targeting. So subject to your plan, and it's not mine, I'm just saying yours, you could be short unresponsive selling coming down to here or here or here. Or you let the dust settle, responsive selling, and you're looking for longs for continuation with the trend. By the way, why would you look for continuation longs? You're going to ask me. This is yesterday. Here's why you would. If this was the retail price in this consolidation that we broke out of, and now we're trading this, and this was the retail price, and that was our primary target for yesterday, what might we do? We might need to come outside to find too high so we can start auctioning this area. So that's why longs primarily, and this is not it. We are looking for continuation higher. Does that make sense? Hi, Stephen. How we doing there in Discord? We doing okay? So outside, targeting down here, looking for longs to get through yesterday's high and keep going. Let's watch. This is a sell sweep. Now this, when I saw this, it was like, what's going on here? So this is resistance. So nothing here to do. This was the jaws on the keyboard. What's going on? This is resistance. These are the targets looking for longs down in here. Okay, let's look. Now, coming down, there's no precision. Don't you wish there was? I do. Would have made life a lot easier. Because when you operate in randomness, your teeth chatter because is this it? Is this it? There's my sweep. So I'm looking for a reversal. It goes lower. Resistance is here. I've got my sellers here. My sellers are here. My buyers are here. The sellers are there. The sellers are here. The sellers are here. The sellers are here. Resistance. You see the bubble? Sellers are there. Sweep is here. I'm looking for a reversal. I have my buyers now are here. Where's my sellers? They are there. Coming down. Where's my sellers? They are here. Coming down and going to zero. Okay. Target is here. Target is there. Let's watch. Now, right, these guys are absorbed. There's no way to know. I get my buyers here. My sellers are there. Buyers are here. Now, I don't know that. Buyers are here. Sellers are here. I pull back here, and as far as I know, going to zero. Going here. That's a target. Over 80% probability. No clue. Buyers are here. What happened? Buyers are here. We came down. The sellers are here. Don't know. I know the buyers are here because they were absorbed. Buyers are above the seller. Now, don't forget, over here, buyers are above the seller. Break low. Buyers are above the seller. Break high. Now, right here, as far as I know, I'm going to keep going. When you get this, that's a buy trigger. That's Trader Lab. Now, I'm going to draw a little line here for you to see the structure. This is price action, and we're putting this together with a sweep and the liquidity. So I'm going to be looking out where this volume is. I'm going to draw you a little line just so you can see it. And what happens here is this is an auction. We're in alignment here. So this sets up a potential trigger, buy trigger. Let me show you a little more of what it looks like. All I'm doing, it's very simple. The sellers are in control here. You see it? So the sellers are here. When I break above these sellers, that's a trigger. Now you can vet these and you got to research them. You know, there's no magic bullet. Stop looking for the magic bullet or the Holy Grail a long time ago. So here, let's take a look at this. So right here is where the change takes place. Break high, there's your trigger. Your volume is sitting really right in here. This actually right there. So if you get long, you could get long here, right here, and your stop would be under here. Notice the support. Let's just watch. Notice the support. Keep watching. This is your target. This is called mean reversion. Now, it's advanced, and you learn this in Trader Lab if you're inclined. You don't need to learn it, but I'm just saying, you know. Let's watch. Now, the shorts are in this leg, okay? So, and the target, remember, coming down is here and here. So, no precision, right? So then if we get here, which is our primary target, mid, VWAP, and developing volume point of control, this is called mean reversion. And the way to operate, if we think the trend might be up, maybe, then it's outside in trading. So that's the mean. Now, what else do we know? There's stops here and there's stops above the swing high. Notice what happens. We come back to the mean and we get our sellers. There's no way to know. So don't think you can predict anything. Me, haven't figured it out. No way to know. So we get here. So the first trade for me would be this to this and then holding. Okay? And would get taken out. So subject to either managing the trade, I'd get a few burgers, maybe a side of fries, or scratch. One or the other. Let's watch. And there was a report at 9 a.m. too, right? So reports always can mess things up. So we come down and we're looking for this. So remember, it's this and this. Well, we don't quite get there. And this is part of the joy of randomness. No way to know. Now we get our stops. This is a buy sweep. This suggests counter rotation. Now in here, I have nothing to do. Doesn't mean you can't develop structured trade for this. And for me, there was nothing. So this would be the first trade for me, unless I took shorts. Let's watch this. Now, VPOC migration. This is important. Let's just make a little note of this thing. And because this says this is the new retail price. Let's watch. So when I'm watching this, I'm narrating. I'm going, well, now this is a new retail price. This is too low down here because I left it. Let's see what it does. And I have this level here also. So I'm going to watch this and I'm going to watch this. This level here came from there. That was too high. It acts as resistance, but if I break above it, it might, underline, act as support. So I have to watch this level, and I've got to watch, of course, mid and VWAP, which is right here. Let's see what it does. When this shifts down, this is now too high. So there's nothing going on here. I think we did talk about a trade. Yeah, we did. In Trader Lab, I was talking about a possible long. Let me tell you. Let me show it to you. And that trade did not work out. Let me show it to you. If we think the trend might be up, and there's targets up above us, we have targets around 43. We also have this level around 36-ish, this level. So we have this as a possible target, and more probable eventually is 43. Not necessarily today, maybe never. We don't know. So here we get our ETH high. I think this is the one I wanted to show you. Yeah. And we pull back to this structure. And this structure, when this shifts up, I'm looking for a pullback and then a rotation up here, and then possibly out the top. That was a trade we discussed in Trader Lab. And that trade took place right here. I discussed it as a possible long. So it sets up here. We have a sweep. Now let's look for a trigger here. So sellers are here. We get our sweep. We get our upside rotation. Then what we're looking for is a long to there. It's called mean reversion, and then out the top. And that trade did not succeed. So that trade failed. Okay, that would be a stop if you took that trade. Now, the next area we have coming down, and an area to observe would be looking out here, potentially to come back up here. But there's a couple issues with this. One is we're under the initial balance. So, and that sets up possibility to come back to the VWAP in the mid. So we have to watch our behavior in here. This shifting down negates any longs out of here. If this was up here, then we might have a continuation long to revert back here. No bueno, no trade. So nothing going on now. I don't even know where we are. Let's take a look. Oh, there we are. So nothing. At least for me, I will say nothing. And for me, what it means is I have my trades, I take them, they work, they don't work. And if I don't have a trade, or I'm not in alignment with it at a location that gives me a statistical edge, I don't do anything. I just wait. So this is wait at the moment. Do you guys have questions? How are we doing in YouTube? Guys, I hope you're getting something from this today. The market does what it does, and the key to trading, in my opinion, is not chasing the market around. Just wait for your trades, and if they have an edge, your job's to take the trades. If you don't have a trade, you sit and you wait. That's it. It's not more complicated than that. It is random, and to sit here and be busy, that's not the business you're in. You're in the business of edge. If you don't have an edge, you don't have a trade. I am having problems. You could see my data is behind, so I'm hoping you're hearing me okay. How we doing in YouTube and the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community? By the way, if you're visiting in YouTube, please give a thumb up. It supports the stream. Also use the link in the bottom of YouTube if you want to visit the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. There's no cost. It's a terrific community. It's for serious traders only. How we doing, Dan? Okay. All right, Dan, thanks. Remember, if I have to drop out of YouTube, this stream will be posted afterwards. You'll be able to review it. I am struggling a bit here with data. Part of being in Costa Rica on a tin can and a string. So we just have to see what we're going to get now. I don't have anything in here that's worth taking risk for. We still have some support sitting over here. We're in a two-sided trade. One of the things I think is very important to understand is what is going on right now. We are in a two-sided trade, and you'll notice it's a two-sided auction. So this is too high. This is the current retail price, and where's too low? Well, from the ETH, too low is down here, and this is yesterday's retail price. So we're kind of just sloshing in here. This kind of condition sets up what's called reversion trading. And it's what's hard about the reversion is you have to find the outside. Where is the outside? It's always a great question. So that's what's mean about mean reversion. Mean reversion is outside in trading. Outside in trading because we're sloshing around looking for extremes on both sides. So in this condition, you're really looking for this. So mid VWAP don't mean anything here. The most important element is this, because that's where the high volume is. And you'll notice if you look at the developing profile, it's basically what's too high, we fall away, then we auction this. This is what consolidations are made out of, by the way, volume. If this price is too high, then we fall away, and we auction another consolidation, which is this. If we fall away, then and we're sequentially doing this. Now, this is too high. This is the new retail price. If this is too low, we can come here. We get through here. We can go there. This is not a great environment unless you're skilled at mean reversion. Okay, guys, I'm going to be dropping YouTube because of technical challenges. If you're in YouTube, please use the link in the bottom of YouTube. You can visit the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. There's no cost. Please hit the like on the way out. I am going to have to drop YouTube because of technical challenges. And this stream will be posted later if you want to watch it, or just come now to Discord. You can watch it there. Apologies again. Dan, should I drop YouTube now? Please give me the heads up on this. Okay, guys, if you're on YouTube, looks like I'm going to have to drop the stream. Okay. All right. Maybe not. Just hang with and be prepared to use the link in the bottom of YouTube. Too high, potential target. This is just not one of those days. I think this is a day that a lot of traders could have a hard time in it. Yeah, I'm still hanging in here, Stoic. Guys, if I have to drop out of YouTube, use the link. Also, please hit the like. It'll help traders find the stream later when it gets posted if I have to drop out. Another thing I want to show you guys while we're still here, one of our traders, Trader Lab traders, posted this, and if I can find it, I want to share it with you. His trade plan. And this is a trader at Trader Lab named Furs. And it was his execution plan. This is kind of what we do in Trader Lab. The best trade idea for today is pullback. The scenario for planning, if we do this, then that. If not, then what? What will keep him out of the trade today? Top 4 setups from his playbook that he has vetted. His emotional self-management and assessment, and there's a lot more here, but I just thought I'd give you a snapshot. If you're not developing a business plan or trade plan and know what you're going to do before the market opens, then you're really a gambler. And I don't think gambling is prudent unless, of course, you get the ticket to the buffet and maybe cocktails. Otherwise, you're gambling. But this is what it takes, and this is what Trader Lab is based on, is helping traders understand the business they're in, building out trade plans, and only interacting when you have a statistical edge. First, thanks for posting that. Much appreciated. Also in Trader Lab, let me show you a little bit of this, because we might have to drop out of YouTube. I want to invite all of you to visit the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. This is what's going on in TraderLab. Posts, charts, discussions, a lot. And there's more. And this is our library of webinars. Now remember, TraderLab's really an advanced community. Start with the primer webinar and then meet the TraderLab. You might want to watch this one. This is pretty important. It's advanced trader education. And why? What is going on here? Why might you want to participate in the TraderLab community? Can it make a difference? And the other thing is, watch this. Because what I do here, it's called I planned, I saw, I traded. Just what I'm showing you here. Trade plans, when it shows up, you engage, assuming you have a statistical edge. You can actually see it play out. And then there's a couple other things. Why most retail traders using indicators fail. You might wonder about that one. Trapped in trader Groundhog Day. That's when you have winning trades like we all do, but you're still not accumulating profits over time. You have winning trades, even a series of winning trades, but you're still losing. So you're always fixing it and trying to make it better. Logical, and that's all of us, and we've all done it. And I call it Trader Groundhog Day because it only took me years to figure out that no matter what I was doing, that made sense to me that something wasn't right. And what wasn't right was, in spite of the effort and the winning trades, overall going backwards. So I tried trading systems so I could optimize them and do it electronically, if you will, let the computer do the tweaking and the tuning. Still, the result was the same. So the solution for me was build out a process where I would re-optimize like every week or two on a rolling schedule. What did that really say about my process? That it did not have an edge, that I had to keep fixing it by looking in the past. But the past is not the future, right? But we think based on what happened in the past that it's going to, quote, somehow give us or predict an edge or future. What happens if it doesn't? Suppose it's the problem and not the solution. That's Trader Groundhog Day. So use the link in the bottom of YouTube. I don't know if I have to drop out. If I do, this will continue in the TraderLab. Hope we're doing okay. And thank you, Bookmap support. Yeah, introductions. I cannot show all the settings here in the stream, but they are available in the Bookmap Discord TraderLab community. And of course, how to make adjustments and all. Come to the TraderLab. I can be glad to show you my settings. The idea of using a high-tier tool like Bookmap is to customize it to give you the information you need to make intelligent, vetted decisions, but then also to filter out what becomes superfluous. Everybody kind of finds what speaks to them in all software platforms. So for me, I'm a minimalist. So I find that if I can minimize inputs, it makes it clearer for me to use process that's anchored. In other words, it's always the same. So it's formulaic. If this, then that. If not, then what? If this is too high, the market can reject it. So if this is too high, if this is too high, then that. If this moves lower, then what? Then that's too high. Then what? If this is too high, I can keep going down. To where? To here or not. If I can come across here, I can come back here. So the process. So when I'm looking at these bubbles are delta. And I'm seeing selling icebergs on the other side here. So I have 168 buy stops. Well, who takes the other side of the stops? Well, often it's the icebergs. Buyers, delta, icebergs. Where am I? I'm below here. See you later. This moves lower. What does it say? Language of the market. Too high. What does this say? Too high. Where might we go? Where it was fair in the ETH. And of course, who knows? Part of the thrill. So introductions, go to, use the link in the bottom of YouTube. Are you guys following? Please give a like if you're in YouTube. Remember, if I have to drop the stream, this will be posted later on. You'll be able to watch it. Remember, the Trader Lab is advanced trader education. This will challenge you, because if you want to have the opportunity to create a career in this business, you will be challenged. And if you're doing what most other retail traders do, you might not. And of course, you might be different. But if you're doing what most other retail traders do, it might not be realistic to anticipate a different outcome. I will say that this is advanced, and that this is going to require you to roll up your sleeves and do something you're probably not used to doing, and that is thinking differently. It's very easy to just do what everybody else does. And in most endeavors in life, the exceptional performer is not doing what others do. You can learn from what others do, of course, and you most importantly can learn from your own experience. That is the ultimate teacher. The thing about this business is, do you keep doing what does not work even though it has random success? Let's take a look at this. This is the current higher time frame. So remember, this was a target, and what we're trying to do, and these are targets up above, around 35 and change. And then we had 43 and change up here as a target, and the stops that are up here. Now, if we're not going to get there, which nobody knows, then say la guerre. Then we can come back in here. It is possible, though, that we're going to get here. If not, and we can't, remember, no predicting. This is maybe. Maybe we're going to take this. Why would we come here? There's buy stops sitting above this high, and it's a high volume area. All high volume areas act the same way. So if that's too low, we test it, we can come back. If this is the current retail price, maybe, is it too high, or are we going to come back above it? Outside edges here, so we could do this kind of a thing. You can do anything. So there is no prediction, guys. So let's not get worried about being all this, I know where it's going to go stuff. No, you don't know where it's going to go. You do know where it might go. That's as good as any of us have. It's called maybe. Maybe this is still too low. Maybe we're going to go there. Maybe if we come across here, we're going to cross this and come here. Mid and VWAP are not material to me, and that's not a recommendation, in this current environment. Because what are we doing? We're crossing them. What is the most important element here? Right now, it's this. And if we can come outside, and let's look at the structure. You see kind of what we're doing? Outside, in. And we might only come up here and do this, and nobody knows. And if I can cross here, then I can come here. All these are possibilities, and it's just not, it's one of those days where you have a specific plan for this, or you have no plan for this and you don't trade. You're not an hourly worker. It's about taking intelligent risk. If you don't have an edge, you don't have a trade, unless, of course, you just want to play a video game. And, of course, as we like to say, it's your business. For me, not so much. I'm only here for one reason, and that is to take intelligent risk. Are we doing okay? Dan, how we doing? All right? Okay, thanks, Dan. How we doing in YouTube, guys? Please give a like. Remember, use the link in the bottom of YouTube if you want to visit the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. There's a lot of great material in there, a lot of sharing and leveraging of the collective experience of these traders. It's a serious community, and this is advanced trading processes. So this is not romper room, and this is, I would not call this elemental. What I would say it is it is really the basis of what this business is about, and understanding the mechanics of how to operate in a random environment. At times, we can get in alignment when we recognize structured trades. The rest of the time, if you don't have a trade, your job is to wait. And that might be hard for you to do because when you're sitting here, you start hallucinating. You see trades. I could have done this. I could have done that. Well, your job is not what you could have done. Your job is to be waiting for your trade. And then either it fits or it doesn't. If you don't have a trade, your job is to wait for your trade. And if you're sitting in Trader Lab, you know where your next trade will show up. Not if it'll show up, but you know, because that's what a trade plan is, trade specific. Like the one I showed you before from Furs, and there's trade plans posted in Trader Lab. There's all kinds of documentation that you can download, plus the library of webinar. If you're listening in Discord, as I've been saying, I am streaming from Costa Rica, and it's going to be a little choppy. I'm going to stay in Discord and YouTube as long as it's reasonably clear. So we still doing okay, guys? Sorry for the problems with the internet here. It is Costa Rica. Let's blame the monkeys. I want to show you some other things, guys. Well, since the audio is a bit problematic, I just want to be sure that you guys can see. There's a full library of webinars. You can, if you're inclined, you can visit the Trader Lab. This is something you guys ought to take a look at. Meet the Trader Lab, Advanced Trader Education. Let's see what this does. This might make big trouble. I think I'm gonna maybe not do that. You might want to watch this one, Meet the Trader Lab, and this one gives a high-level overview of this entire process I share every day. Also watch these, and there's also a document section, 60 structured trades you can download, opening context alignment, auction market theory, context tips, and these are not just my stuff I've contributed, understanding mental obstacles, that's an audio that I did, and streams going back from 2022 you can watch, and there's a lot of additional education here, plus what's going on in the Bookmap server. Stocks, options, crypto, order flow, with a high tier tool like Bookmap and a lot more. All these things are available at no cost. You can use the link in the bottom of YouTube if you're inclined. And please give a like if you're in YouTube, and the stream will be available later to watch if for some reason I have to drop YouTube because of the issues with the internet. So right now, there is nothing going on here other than rotational trades. You can see how the volume is just sloshing around. So there's really nothing going here. I don't have anything to do here. I just sit back and watch. This has a high probability of getting checked. This was a level to get checked. This is our current low of the day where it says IBL. So we're just sloshing. It's not an optimum day, I would say, for trades unless you can trade rotations like this. Are you guys with me? Please hit the like. It's always nice to be liked, and it does support the stream. There's not a lot going on here, guys. There's some trades in here, but it's just two-sided trade. And it looks like we might just slosh both sides of this today, come outside, come back in, and just we're in balance. So the market is really resting at the moment. There's no new input. And of course, POTUS can say anything at any time, and that changes how the market reacts. So we're really subject to those external inputs which can disrupt the auction. Market's coming down, we have stops under the low, and we have a high probability of getting here or wherever. And the where, it's not a prediction or a recommendation. Let's see if I can show you this. This is what the 60 PDFs look like if you're interested. They are available to everyone in the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. These are actual trades I took that I posted, and I just share these ideas. And these are kind of the basic ideas. When I decided to share this material a number of years ago, I thought to myself, well, let's keep it simple. And the fact that simple doesn't mean it's basic. Basic understanding of market mechanics. You can take these ideas and you can make them into something much more complex. However, you don't need to. You need to be able to execute consistently. The idea of structured trading is that you develop the discipline so you can sustain yourself through the learning curve, and eventually you can get into much more sophisticated or nuanced processes. And you can learn this in the Trader Lab. Doesn't mean you'll ever be a successful trader, because the work required to differentiate your outcome from most other retail traders will take many out of the business. Most traders are looking to emulate something else, plug and play. It doesn't work that way. If it did, we'd all find the one trader. What would you have paid to just go to a seminar or attend a webinar and then have an ATM in the basement? I would say almost anything. Well, many have done that, except they don't have an ATM in the basement. They're out of the business. So we can't emulate that. You can't emulate what I do, and I can't emulate what you do. What I do is based on my experience and statistical probabilities that are aligned with my psychology. Remember, sell stops are sitting under here, potential target here, and then we want to see the behavior. We have a sweep here, and this was our support level. Let's watch it. Not a trade recommendation. We're only watching behavior. And here's what's important. This is the low, and we can come out here and then come back inside. So we want to watch that also. So let's just watch this behavior. It's not a trade recommendation. Everything is random. And if you don't have a trade for this, there's nothing to do. Don't forget to like if you're in YouTube. So let's zero in here. Weep. This was support. That's where this white line is coming from. Then the possibility is to come back here or here, there or there, or fall out the bottom. I know you're going, well, that's great. Well, the current low of the day is right down around, I think it's 58.12 quarter. So it's right in here. So let's watch and see what it does here. So let's watch our behavior. None of these are trade recommendations. This is a two-sided trade. For me in this, this is our next possible area, and there's sell stops here. So if I'm thinking of a long, I am not going to step in front of the first hour's low because it's the low of the day and there's going to be sell stops. Now, if I come outside, subject to what happens, this would be I'd be looking to come back here and here. So my next trade, not a recommendation, is outside and back to here. And I don't have it yet. So I have to wait. Now we can hang here, come back to here, or for me, because I'm not somebody who's compelled to trade, I'm more interested in edge than I am action. If I can get under here and I come back to the ETH retail price, this overnight volume point of control is the same as this. This is our developing volume point of control in the RTH, and this is where the high volume was from the ETH. So what I know is if I come out here and test it, and I take the stops under the current low of the day, then I have a reasonable shot to come back here. If this is also potential support, but it doesn't give me good edge, and I can still come back here. So, but that's not my trade. I don't call trades. I'm just telling you, for me, I want the sell stops out so I can see if there's absorption to come back here. So my trade, if it shows up, is out here to there. Are you guys following? Please give a like if you're in YouTube. We're working on it here in Costa Rica. And remember, if I do crash and I have to drop YouTube, this stream will be posted later today. I think we're going to get away with it, Dan. I like to try to anyway. So how we doing, guys? Are you still able to hear me okay? Right. Oh, hi, Adam. Thank you. So we're watching. We have a sweep. We have support here. We have the possibility to rotate. It is not a qualified trade for me, and it doesn't matter to me if we come here. That's not what this is about. This is strategy. In this scenario, since I have sell stops here and all the longs that are in here from today have their stops under there, I prefer, as a qualified trade, potentially, and it's not mechanical, to come under here. And then if I see absorption and I get a trigger, my trade would be a long to come back there. Just saying, that's my next trade. And I'm not calling a trade because I take stops too. Don't you? I do. Haven't figured out how not to take a stop. The casinos haven't figured out how not to pay the gamblers either. So I'm not trying to solve for that. What I do is I understand the environment I'm operating in, which is 100% random 100% of the time, which is why you can get this. Why didn't we go down first and then come here? Isn't that a great question? How about there's no answer for that? Because it's random. So if we don't have the answer to this, then how can we have the answer if this comes back here? But if we know that we have roughly an 82% probability of getting there, and there's sell stops there, why would we take a long here? Does that make sense? One thing about being in Costa Rica, not only do you hear all these beautiful birds in the morning, but you hear roosters crowing. That's a little different. Now, currently, I am a little bit more in a city-ish, but the infrastructure still is flimsy. Doesn't matter where you are here. So, watching this, and we're waiting for this. So I have nothing to do here. This is part of trading. It isn't always about being busy. It's really about edge. So if you want to learn about this, And again, this is a advanced trader education process. It is available at no cost. You can use the link in the bottom of YouTube. Visit the Trader Lab community. Our senior trader has over 50 years. I've got 45, maybe it's going on 46 now that I think about it, almost. And both professionally and out here with you. What I do is based on an understanding of market mechanics, how the market works, why it does what it does, how at times using structured, vetted trades that you might be able to get in alignment with it. You only need one trade that has a statistical edge. And the idea of Trader Lab is to help you understand how the market works and how to build a trade plan and potentially create a career path for you in the business. It's not catching every wiggle. That's just video game and a dopamine fix. It is understanding why the market might do something at locations, which is why it might come here. But this is not a trade. Now you might go, well, gee, I could have bought this, and maybe it'll come there and there. I could have bought this. Well, if it doesn't have an edge, then you should have not have bought it. You should have, if you know where statistics favor you, is get under the stops here, first hour's low, and the low of the day so far, to come back in to come here. So I understand we all see this stuff and we think it's, oh, look at that. I could have done this. I could have done this. Yeah. Oh, and I could have bought this. There's your support palm. There's your sweep. There's your absorption. There's everything. Except what? Stops. So no bueno. Hope it makes sense. Please give a like if you're in YouTube. Come to the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community to use the link down below. There's no cost. It's really about the business of trading. It's not Fantasy Island, unfortunately. There's a lot of fantasy out in the interworld. You guys see it all the time. And, the only this you need, how I made $1 bazillion in 4 minutes, all that nonsense, and it is nonsense. Here's I think the catch-22. It was for me early on because I didn't understand the business I was in. I thought I could get more certainty, so I spent years trying to create predictability and certainty. It will do this, it will do that, and all that. And it did do this and did do that, and that's the catch, because we're always right at times, doesn't matter what you're doing. And I didn't understand I was in the gaming business. I was not in the business of being right or prediction. I had no idea, and part of that had to do with learning measured moves. That was the first thing I'd learned over at CME when I took classical bar charting. Candles didn't exist yet. This is back in 1980. And so everything was, it's going to, head and shoulders, it's going to. You'd measured this, it's going to go there, it's going to. So I thought trading was, it is going to. Well, it took me a long time to figure out. It might, the best you got is maybe, so it might not. Who knows? How's it going to get there? Will it get there? And all of that. Well, that wasn't part of my process because I thought it was just going to. Well, it's not going to, and it might. So if you only have maybe, then how do you operate in maybe? Well, it's not by predicting. It's about statistical probabilities. It might do this. It might do that. Where might it do it? And when it does it at that location, what does that mean? And what is your probability? The fact this exists here, and that is the potential target, doesn't mean anything. What means something is if we come out and take the first hour's low, then it means something. This means nothing to me. Hope it makes sense. So let's see what's going on. So this is the retail price. Was too high. We have I believe, our full session VWAP here. We have mid and VWAP there. This is our first hour's low. So stops are here. So So I don't have anything to do because of the stops. And this has about an 82% probability. Past performance, not indicative results. So that's all I can tell you is there's nothing here other than this. Now, if you want to trade this, that's your business, as they say. I don't. And the reason I don't, and I'm just giving you just a personal thing, it's not a recommendation because you may be the ultimate warrior who can buy here and sell there. That's a couple of points. For me, what I found was my risk stays pretty constant, 2.5 to 3 points a contract. I'm not interested in risking 2.5 to 3 points to come here. You see, if I'm going to risk 2.5 to 3 points, I need to be further outside so I can come across this range to come here. So it's not that this is not doable. The risk reward makes no sense. As you guys have been following the stream know, my thing is a little bit more like 10, 15, 20 points if it's available. So the range, because I have to get paid, and I won't get paid for the stops I take unless I have range. So it's called risk reward. You guys are familiar with that, I know. Hope you're still hearing me okay. This stream does run until around 12 noon Central Time. So, it's almost like trying to make it under the wire here. I got about 14 minutes left. Hopefully we'll be able to stay. One moment. Just making some adjustments. Okay. So let's see what happens here. This is our variable high volume node. This is not a structured trade. This is a rotational trade. Thanks, Dan. Okay, so again, nothing here. We can see this is a buy trigger. And again, it's not a qualified trade for me because of this. So nothing to do. So the idea of this is that where do you have an edge? And we're not here just to trade rotations because they all look the same. What about this one? What about this one? What about this one? What about the one down here? Which one is the right one? You could take yourself out of the business trying to buy every little rotation, you see? So that's what having a trade plan is about. Where is that? And I think I showed you earlier, one of our participants, and I think that has disappeared. I showed you his trade plan because he posted it in TraderLab. And there's other trade plans. You could look at checklists. How do you set up in the morning? What's your plan for the day? If you just walk in here every day and you're going to start clicking the mouse, you're going to have winning trades like everybody does, and you're also probably not going to be in the business. It doesn't. That's not what this business is. It's not a video game. It's really a strategic endeavor, and you have to be strategic. So we're just sitting here. There's nothing to do. No trade. Johnny, the best way to learn about Market Pulse is to go to the knowledge base. There's a number of different tools. This is volume pressure imbalance. Okay. It's just showing if it's out of alignment in the sense of the balance, the pressure of it. It is not something that I need for trading. And actually you can set an audio alert. It's just another way. It's an audio. So what you see here, you can hear. Some of us are auditory, others are visual, some are combinations of both. But I think the better explanation is to go to the knowledge base, because there's a lot of different tools that you can use here with the Market Pulse. I think it's pretty useful if it's part of your, in other words, if it's a piece. There's so many tools that are available in Bookmap, and each trader finds what speaks to them. And this literally will speak to you. So it's showing me the pressure, which is by pressure. That's what it's showing right here. So, and then, if the pressure stops, like it would now, then we want to see, does it continue, or does it actually get neutral, or does it turn into selling? So, but I can see the same thing right here. So it's just a matter of, if you're looking around or something and then you hear something, it can alert you. See the selling here? And now it's showing up there. And we came to where? Variable high volume node. This was too high. And this is our full session VWAP. So these are structures that you can lean on. These are not structured trades, though. Yeah, but Johnny, go to the knowledge base, because there's a lot in this. There's volume pressure imbalance. There's pace of tape imbalance, spread change, stop pressure, sweep pressure. I mean, there's just so much. Iceberg pressure, absorption pressure, order book pressure, so tons. So all these tools, and that's just one element that Bookmap offers that help you see what's happening right here in the book. But go to bookmap.com, knowledge base, or just go to the library of YouTube videos on these add-ons. And part of these, these are part of different packages that are available to Bookmap subscribers. Market Pulse is very cool. I got almost a 10-second delay here on data. Justin, we understand what is going on here as far as what we're doing. Just hang in there and follow the stream that has the best quality for you. Don't worry about it. We got 7 minutes left. Guys, if you're visiting in YouTube, please give a like, a thumb up, be appreciated. Also, this stream will be available to review. Vlad, it's not similar to the tick. No, completely different. Go to bookmap.com, check out all the additional tools that are available. This is just one of them. There are many more tools. And the thing about Bookmap that makes it so good is each trader finds what literally speaks to them. I'm a minimalist, so what I find is I don't want conflict. I don't use indicators, don't believe in them. I found they're the problem, not the solution. And at least it is for me. That's what Trader Groundhog Day is. I did a webinar on it. You guys should come to the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. Use the link in the bottom of YouTube. Start watching the webinars. You'll learn a lot. And what you're going to find is when you use a high tier order flow tool like Bookmap, you're going to start seeing the market through a different lens. The thing about order flow is it's not indicator driven like most of us are used to, letting the indicators do the work. This is not order flow. Order flow is what's happening right here. 65 buy stops are coming out. That's what creates this delta. And now we have our mid and our VWAP. And what else are we doing? Well, we had a sweep here. That sets up, but again, this is not a trade I would take. So it just isn't my trade. It doesn't matter. And now there's going to be stops at the mid and the VWAP. So I have no trade In spite of this, doesn't matter. It's like, think of it this way. There's your trades that you vetted that have an edge, and then there's this. What do you do about this? Well, I don't do anything about it because it's not my trade. So I just go, that's interesting. I do not go, I should have bought it there, because my plan says do not activate there, activate under here. So it isn't shoulda, it's followed your plan. That's how you rate yourself when it comes to this business. It doesn't matter what the market does. What matters is what you do. It's the same way the casinos operate. What do? They only play games that have an edge, and they play them exactly the same way. Doesn't matter. They pay the gamblers, of course. But over time, they are extracting the dollars from the gamblers. Let's watch this liquidity here. Now, the fact that there's liquidity here is not a reason to do anything. It's just liquidity and the VWAP. Still nothing to do. Let's keep an eye on it, though. Final questions, guys. I got a couple of minutes. Let me remind you, you're all invited to the Bookmap Discord Trader Lab community. It is available. There is no cost. A lot going on here. Posts, discussions, a lot of good stuff. Trade plans. There's also let's see. There was one here I wanted to show you, but it's kind of gone. Also, there's the library of webinars, and I would suggest you start the primer webinar, and it's an overview of this process. Then meet the Trader Lab. You definitely want to find out what this is about. It's advanced trader education. This is advanced process. Now, you may be thinking, well, gee, you could have caught such and such rotation. No, I can't, because I don't stay in business by making it up as I go. I stay in business by being disciplined and only interacting when I have an edge. If I don't have an edge, I have nothing to do. Doesn't matter. And watch this one. I planned, I saw, I traded. This, I give an overview of the entire process. It's in one short webinar. It's an hour and change, and you could see a top-down approach. Then why most retail traders using indicators fail, and the other one is Trader Groundhog Day. That's where you're always trying to fix it and tune it and tweak it. Then you keep waking up in the same place. It's part of it. It's part of what we all do. And unfortunately, what we all do statistically doesn't turn out so good, as we know. So it's something you might want to consider. But use the link in the bottom of YouTube if you want to visit Trader Lab. You're all invited. Say hi. And it's a community of traders who've come together to leverage their collective experience. The business of trading, we've all walked in the same shoes. Some of us are going to stay walking in those shoes, and nothing will change. Other traders who come to Trader Lab take that experience that they've had, and they untrap the equity that they've accumulated by doing the same processes that don't have a statistical edge. If you've made an investment and you're still doing the same things, it might not be realistic to think it's going to change. Come to Trader Lab, no cost. Use the link in the bottom of YouTube. Please give a link. A link? How about a like? I'll take a like before a link. Please give a like on the way out. Feel free to review the stream. It'll be on YouTube. Appreciate you coming by. Come to Trader Lab. Watch the other videos that are in the library. Download the documents, the statistical probabilities, the structured trades. And remember, you have to vet everything for yourself. Thanks again, guys. Don't forget to give a like, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And Bookmap support. Thanks for providing your guidance and support.